Hello and welcome. I'm Damon Bruce. Good to have you along for the NBA here on 2K Sports. Wednesday in the...
A beautiful sight to behold. Lady Liberty standing majestically over the waters of New York Harbor. Hello and thanks for joining us, 2K Sports fans, for another exciting presentation of NBA basketball with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. This is Kevin. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. First, for the Lakers, Schroeder is out there with Caldwell Pope. And at the center position, an impressive combination of size and skill. The 7'1 Spaniard, Marc Gasol. Then it's LeBron James. And it's Davis in at the power forward. And for Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving is out there with Harden. And inside at center, a long 6'11", the skyscraping big man out of Texas A&M, DeAndre Jordan. And it's Durant in at the 4 slot. Out to Harris. A 3-ball. That's good. And a nice assist from Durant. Harris has got the opening field goal of the game for the Nets.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play. Well, you know, it's still exciting to come here to the Barclays Center, this beautiful new arena, and you really like the fact that it's built to showcase basketball. Terrific sight lines, everything the fans could ask for.
And here's Brooklyn. It's a 3-point game. All alone. And it's Anthony Davis with the rebound.
I thought he'd make that one. And that's his range, and the defense nowhere to be seen.
And LeBron James gets it to go. You talk about the allure of the new arena, Steve. Even when teams are staying in the same city so often, a push is there for a new arena.
Yeah, that's the reality of the business. It's all about entertainment. It's about being cool. It's about kind of the brand, and I think that's where Brooklyn really made that huge jump last year. It was just the uniforms and the arena and the fan base and being in Brooklyn. It all came together, and now it feels like a world-class organization.
Well, let's start with the positive and the Lakers postseason. They did make it. That's all that can be said. Is their dramatic passing of Utah and the Rockets down the stretch to take the 7th seed was really the lone highlight of what would be a quick exit from the playoff swarm.
And so he's able to get 1 of 2. Going back to the Lakers, swept in 4 straight by the Spurs, and none of the games really that close. Spurs, Steve, just dominated them, and every sense of the word. Injuries didn't help either.
No, they didn't help, but you know, the Spurs just outplayed whoever was on the floor for LA. And I think a lot of people thought that the Spurs would be a good first-round matchup for the Lakers, but that notion was quickly squashed. San Antonio just totally dominant.
And the first one at the line is good.
This is the 2nd season for the Nets here in Brooklyn. It's amazing how quickly they've made themselves a part of this community. They've tried to capture some of that history from sports in the past. In fact, they have the flagpole from the old Ebbets Field right outside the Barclays Center. Kind of a cool historical connection.
And for the Nets, you notice that unlike most teams with their jerseys, whether they're on the road or at home, it's Brooklyn across their chest. I
think that represents them representing the borough, Kevin, and looking to establish a new identity. And even if you aren't a big Nets fan, for Brooklynites, it's easy to throw on a black and white sweater or jersey with Brooklyn across the front of it.
Passes it to Caldwell Pope. He kicks it to Gasol. And the basket good.
I like the way they got the ball inside there.
Little over a minute 30 into this first quarter. Moments ago, our Doris Burke had a chance to catch up with the coach, Frank Vogel. Doris?
He said that the key to the game will be how well they defend Kyrie Irving, adding, he's shown himself to be one of the premier point guards in the game already. Whether it's passing, shooting, or penetrating, we need our guys in the backcourt to really get up into him, and our bigs need to be ready to bring help. Guys, you can bet that Irving will be their focus defensively.
Thanks, Doris. Backing down is LeBron. There's the pass to Schroeder. No good from outside.
Boy, that's a surprising miss right there. He usually feasts on those wide-open opportunities.
And the foul called on Anthony Davis. That is his first foul of the game. Los Angeles making a switch here. Back to Green. Rebounded by the Lakers. Outside Matthews.
Oh, busted, baby!
Harrell, defended by Durant, and it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Well, what I like about him, Kevin, is he knows who he is. I mean, he's an energy guy. Plays with a physicality about him, just toughness and grit. And he knows that's his ticket to playing time on the floor, and he does his best every single night.
And every team needs a player like him, a guy who contributes each and every night by doing just the little things and doing them well, like getting on the floor for loose balls. And, you know, for the Lakers last season, a lot of turmoil. And you think about the coaching change, but it wasn't just that. It was a whole system change as well. And the front office felt the Princeton offense they started using wasn't working out. So they were in a state of flux all season long.
Dishes it to Morris. Pass to Matthews. Harrell, defended by Durant. Here's LaRusso. 6 to shoot. Here's Morris. They grab their own miss. Harrell drops in the layup for 2.
Very nice pickup of the offensive rebound. And once he gets his hands on it, you know it's going back up and back in.
And still a close game as the first quarter comes to a close. Nets lead by 2. 2K Sports back in a moment here in Brooklyn. And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far. And guys, what stands out to you from the Nets in this one?
It was pretty impressive the way they moved the ball, made the extra pass, and found open shooters that whole quarter.
Yeah, it's been a complete team effort out there. Great to watch.
And there's the call by the official. They'll count the basket here following the goaltending call.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
And the crowd immediately letting the officials have it after that whistle.
A very unpopular call there.
Los Angeles making a switch here. Tucker's checked in.
You know, as great as 2012 was for the Nets, in many ways, they really came up short on their last game of that calendar year. In 2012, the New Year's Eve matchup against the Spurs, the Nets only scored 5 points in the third quarter of that contest.
Matthews gets it to go.
Well, the lead should be safe if they keep shooting like this.
Well, they're on fire. I mean, they're absolutely on target and looking to pad that scoring total, too.
It's Harden with the drive. Green, defended by Tucker. Harden the pass to Perry. Backs him down. Shot from the low block. Hits the front of the rim and out. And Clark, you were talking about the Nets. They went from looking like a team that could compete for a title to a team that, while still talented, Steve, and a lot for the playoffs, was a little closer to the middle of the pack than they thought.
Well, with the hot start they got out to, I think it was just a matter of time before they hit a cold stretch. And never fun to be held to just 5 points in a quarter. And that game had a lot of Nets fans wondering how the rest of the season would go. But, hey, they got it back together and still finished off pretty well.
Lakers ended up 17-13 against Eastern Conference teams last year, but that wasn't really a dominating effort. Certainly not what you would expect from a playoff team.
Well, and to make the playoffs in the West, you do need to have a record similar to that of the Lakers against the East. You know, Steve, no team that made the postseason in the West had a record below 500. So the Lakers took care of what they needed to.
Well, you know what's odd, Kevin, is that in the shortened season before, when the Lakers were the cream of the Pacific Division and everything was going well, they only went 500 against the East. So, you know, if they want to bounce back this season, they'll need to not give away games and make sure they keep their out-of-conference record better than 500.
Second quarter of action, about a minute and a half played. And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Guys, it might surprise you that when James Harden was back in college at Arizona State, he had an influence you might not guess. Former NBA player and coach Doug Collins, who often visited Phoenix. Harden said, quote, "He taught me a lot. He mentored me, told me I had to have a motor. I was nonchalant, just sort of chill. My sophomore year, the reason I came back to college was to learn to build my motor up. He was the reason for that." Guys, always great to have that kind of guidance along the way.
It certainly is. Thank you, Doris.
He's really dedicated himself, and we've seen the results on the court.
You know, the new home for the Nets last season as they moved over from New Jersey to Brooklyn, they must have loved their new dig because they were fantastic in front of this Brooklyn crowd last season. 26-15 here.
The first free throw is good. Clark, you're right. The Nets are making a good impression here, as you were saying. Always good for a team to open up a new arena with a strong record at all.
And what a great stadium, guys. The Barclays Center, one of the best-looking floors in the NBA. Great design all around. And even on the outside, when you walk up to the arena here in Brooklyn, it's just a beautiful atmosphere.
Here's Harden on the wing. And that one hits back iron. They can go 2 for 1.
Yeah, they need to play it smart. Make sure you get a good shot first, and then maybe a second possession.
32 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. Here's Gasol. And the Lakers with another miss. Nets trail by 5. Durant dishes to Brown. Oh, he's going up for the alley-oop here. And the jam by Kevin Durant.
You can see the eye contact there. Gave a little nod and then burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
No doubt, Clark. A pair of teammates with a terrific feel for each other out on the floor.
And what a play to make in a close game. A potential momentum builder.
And the Lakers making a change here. Here's Irving. Up and in on the layup. Irving's got 5 points in the quarter.
Boy, that was impressive, Clark. He did not hesitate to take the ball right up against the bigger defender.
Boy, I like that aggressive mindset there, Steve.
Second quarter ends in a tight one. Los Angeles on top. They lead by 1. Time now for the halftime break, with the third quarter soon to follow, right here on 2K Sports.
Now, presented by Sprint.
And a fun game going out in the borough of Brooklyn.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far.
Well, a coaching carousel for the Lakers last season. They made it only 5 games before firing Mike Brown. Then they decided to go in a new direction. And, boy, they went through 3 different head coaches before all was said and done. They never really were able to gain that consistency they were looking for.
And now the fast break. Irving with the ball. And the officials call goaltending, so they'll award the basket.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
The Lakers trail. Here's Schroeder. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Backing down is LeBron. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. And back to the Lakers' struggles last season. What do you think, Clark, were the main problems that, held them back from being the kind of title contender that they thought they were, and a lot of people imagined they were?
Well, how much time do I have? 3 or 4 shot clocks worth? I mean, I think there were a number of issues, as you might expect. Injuries played a significant role, but I think there was discord over how they should play, really no true identity. They were a big team trying to be small, a team without a number of shooters trying to spread the floor, an older team trying to go up tempo, coaching change.
Right, yes.
You had a lot of moving parts, and it made it very difficult for everybody, I think, and it showed in how the Lakers' season went.
That's a good assessment. Off target from three-point range. The Nets with the lead. Harden kicks to Durant. Irving from long range. No luck. So Los Angeles will take it the other way. LeBron with it. Picked up by Harris. Gasol, a screen on Harris. It's LeBron with the drive. Outside Gasol. Yes, and it's LeBron picking up the assist. Gasol's got 5 points so far.
And the lead goes right back over. This is a seesaw affair.
The game's there for the taking, but neither team seems to want it.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn.
Well, he sees something that he doesn't like. I'm not sure what it is, but I think he's going to make some changes here.
I think you've got to make your adjustments pretty quickly like he's doing here. Otherwise, things can get out of hand. So this is a good timeout.
Third quarter of play with just over a minute and a half gone by. Irving passes to Durant. Feeds it to Harden. Gets it to go. Harden's got his second basket of the game.
You know, they really aren't putting up any resistance on the low block. That's the 5th consecutive basket inside.
And Steve, these looks they're allowing are almost automatic.
Harris kicks to Irving. Back to Harris. The Nets working the ball around now. Harden outside. Baseline jumper. Anthony Davis grabs the miss.
What was the defense doing there? I mean, he is not the guy to give an open look to, and yet they got away with it.
LeBron dishes to Davis. It's stolen by Green.
I'd like to see them go 2 for 1 here.
I would too. They need to make this a quick possession and a fruitful one too.
Terrible transition defense there.
I think it would have been pointless, Steve. There was no way anybody was beating him to the basket there.
Stolen by Harden. 19 seconds left in the third. Offensive rebound, Irving. And he makes good on the layup. And it's a 4-point Nets lead.
Well, their plan of attack has been pretty clear to see. I mean, get the ball inside and just take it strong to the hoop. Be dominant in the lane.
Well, the defense has been very slow to adjust. I mean, that's 10 straight points now inside.
For Los Angeles, they have shot 8 of 10 from the line. That's an even 80% free throw shooting here.
And you look at the numbers, guys, this team shot a 73% clip over the course of last season.
Yeah, as a group, really a dismal year for them from the line last season, guys.
And both free throws good for Davis. Here's Irving. Shot is off. And we just finished the third quarter, and we've got a tight ball game here. Nets lead by 2. And we're coming right back. Be sure to... And thanks for joining us again as the fourth quarter of play is set to get rolling. It's been a close battle to this point. And taking a quick look here at the hustle stats for the Nets.
Their activity at the defensive end, Kevin, has been really impressive. Attacking and coming away with steals.
They've been firing on all cylinders in the transition game, too. I mean, they've really run the break well.
Harris, he's guarded by Davis. Harris backing down. 5 on the clock. Here's Irving. Gets the 14-footer to fall. Irving's got the fourth quarter going with the first basket of the period here for the Nets.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's special because he lives for the big moments. Fearless. I mean, he will take any big shot down the stretch. He wants the ball in his hands.
And Steve, near the bucket, he's one of the best finishers around. I mean, he does a great job of using his strong body to fight through contact and get to the rack.
Outside Durant, Irving. The basket good off the assist from Durant. Durant's got 5 assists in the game.
He's created some good opportunities for himself and made the most of them.
Davis setting the pick for LeBron. Off the pick. Again, Los Angeles.
As long as they keep spraying them from deep, we're going to have ourselves one exciting finish.
Well, it took them a while, but they're finally starting to get some rhythm offensively on the outside.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
I was able to listen in on what the Nets coach was going over with his team. He said, no time to waste, fellas. We've got to pick it up right now if we're going to make a comeback and try to win this thing. Let's go all out. Back to you.
Caldwell Pope, he's checked in for Los Angeles. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot.
Some fantastic numbers for Irving. He has 11 points and 1 steal as well. He's been their leader, stirring the drink at the offensive end and then anchoring the defense.
Well, it's a good example, Clark, of how you set the table for the rest of your teammates. He's really brought focus and energy to this game.
Davis with a screen on Harris. Back to Davis. Durant with the steal. 11 feet away. Another shot. Here's Jordan. Blocked. And pushing it up. Here's Los Angeles. And out of bounds as the Nets gain possession.
Oh, that certainly could be costly. In a close one, those kinds of mistakes can really give the other team momentum.
Here's Durant. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. He hits the first one, and that puts them up by 5. And so he drops them both. It's a 6-point ball game.
Good work at the line to stretch that lead out a little bit.
It's going to take something special, maybe a miracle, for them to come back right now.
How about a little luck?
LeBron kicks to Schroeder. Good! What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3.
The screenplay worked ideally there, and I'm not talking about the screenplay you see in a movie theater. Gave him more than enough room to get that shot off.
And now both of these clubs really in a groove here.
Already a high-scoring game, but it has become an offensive showcase down the stretch.
LeBron kicks to Schroeder. Here's Caldwell-Pope, but they'll get another chance. Pass to Schroeder. Back to LeBron from deep. And the Lakers get it back. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. It's going to be on James Harden.
Well, probably the right play defensively. If you can't get the block, send them to the free throw line. Don't give them an easy 2.
No easy buckets inside. Force free throws and work to keep them out of the lane next time around.
Both free throws good from Caldwell-Pope.
Rock solid there. That trims it to a 1-possession game, so critical free throws.
Clark, they'll be trying to take as much time off the clock as they can.
Exactly. Expect to see some long possessions out of them going forward.
Irving passes to Harris. It's good!
An example right there, guys, of how even as their lead grew into a big one, they never started coasting.
That's the truth. I mean, they've been in charge of this game all the way through.
Schroeder kicks to LeBron. And again, LeBron missing.
Yeah, again, iffy shot selection there. Defender draped all over him.
Well, you got to understand who's guarding you in that situation. I mean, if he's on you tight, you can't just rise up and try to shoot over the top.
And so it's Brooklyn with the win. Both teams played well, but these guys had the edge.
Yeah, I think so. They were just steak knife sharp. Very on top of their game here.
Well said. And that'll do it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. And now we present the Jordan Player of the Game, Kyrie Irving.